That's all done. You know that because you saw that last week. But also this is all done. So the end of the sill, do you remember I was, had it all sort of precariously held together with grips last week, but now it's welded in. So the end of the sill's done, this outrigger's done, that sort of closing panel's done, and then our heel plate or kick plate is done, and that jacking point there is done. And then next, I said about a floor pan, didn't I? So next to that heel plate goes the floor pan. So there's our outrigger, there's our chassis rail, kick plate, and then that would join through there, and then it has to join through here and join through here. So it all spot weld through these, and I'll probably MIG plug it, which is how I fitted that, because access with the MIG with the spot welder is difficult. But you get the idea. So that's going to go in there like that. So you can see how this kicks up here, and then you have this little fillet piece goes in here, this funny little shape goes in there, which is how they do them, which is quite complicated. I'll show you one, although it's for the other side, I'll just bring it over. So yeah, that's the sort of thing it would be, but that's actually for the opposite side, so that's for the other side like that. So you can see, you imagine it'd be the opposite to that. So what it would be is, these are sort of patterns. So the opposite bit would be like that, wouldn't it? So it goes up like that. So that folds up onto there. This bit would become that, which folds up and meets this piece here. It sort of got curled down into there. And then we have this sort of raised area there, which is where it sits over that one. So that sort of comes there, and then of course that tub goes in there. But we don't do that just yet. You get the idea. And then this has got to have a sort of swage line put through here, which I'll show you on the opposite floor. So there, that would be that swage line. And then obviously got to punch my little drain tang or whatever those things are into it. But we'll do that later. So that's that little lot, which is good. Obviously got to get that fitted in there yet. I've done some of these, I had to do another one of these wiring tangs on there, but that's where the end, because of this area, is all covered over. This says these bits go in there, so that'll be it. Because that is where your main battery cable goes out through there to go to the starter motor and so on, to energise the engine. So that's it. Other news, a new Eckold Shrinker, very pleased with that. Now that come off my mate Clive, Clive Winston, Mr. Speedlux. So look up Mr. Speedlux. If you look up his site, you'll have seen stuff I've done at his place before when we've reviewed cars for sale. So he has some lovely stuff for sale, lovely cars and so on. And you might have seen in the press that he had that Ferrari collection he bought recently, deceased estate, which had a Ferrari Dino amongst it. Which needed restoring, but it was a nice one because it was an original UK spec car, but been off the road for about 40 years, or something crazy like that. Anyway, but it needed a lot of work. But anyway, that's sold. So he sold that and all the bits and pieces through his son's auction site, Tifosi, which you should look that up. They do Ferrari memorabilia and stuff like that. Well, memorabilia is sort of selling it short. It's a bit more, proper collectible stuff. And interesting parts. So he runs an auction. I think he's running about 3 a year at the minute, or maybe even more. So look him up, Tifosi, which is Theo Winston, and look up Clive Winston, his dad's site, which is Mr. Speedlux. And this come from that Cashier Bits. So this is a nice one. So I already had one of these, but this is a sort of a newer one, but still of the vintage when they were making these things really well. But this has got the interchangeable jaws, so that you can clip these off and swap them over. So these are shrinker jaws, but it's also got a set of stretcher jaws. It came with stretcher jaws, but these are the brand new shrinker jaws. So I indulged in buying some new ones because I thought, well, if I don't have quick release ones, I might as well have them swap over. But eventually I can put them in the other machine. So I can have shrinker in one and stretcher in the other. That's the plan. That's what you want, really. But for now, I'm just swapping them over. So that's that bit, which is all exciting. And the other thing we ought to catch up on was the Classic Alfa sale. So Classic Alfa parts had a big sale of all the sort of old stock and bits and pieces and so on they had. And that was last Saturday, so you can watch a bit of footage of me turning up there with my mate Tom and his little 105 Alfa that we go out in. And that was great. So, you know, I bowled in there and, you know, there's Alfa stuff everywhere, you know, rusty old panels and, you know, dirty engines and gearboxes. And there it was, Fiat Dino gearbox. I think the only non-Alfa thing in the whole place. Well, I couldn't leave it there, could I, really? So, yeah, that come home with me. Or rather come back with me on the Monday, because I had to go up there on the Monday because we didn't really want to put it in Tom's 105. I think that was fair, really, to shove it in the boot of that. So I bought that and a few other little bits and pieces, which was stuff to do with other projects and ideas and silly stuff and things that cross over the Maserati side of it. So it was Alfa Romeo stuff, but it will get used on the Mazda stuff. But the Fiat Dino gearbox is obviously, you know, we know where that's going. So there we are. So perhaps we'll cut to that and have a quick look at what I bought, the haul of parts. So here we are, a load of old junk. So headlight rims, Alfa Giulietta, you can see they've got the Corello markings on them. They're not brilliant, the chrome's not brilliant, but the markings are quite deep, so they'll probably take a re-chrome. But these are all Mistral, so I grabbed a load of them, they're useful. These are Lancia Appia, these shallower ones, but sometimes, you know, you get them on a Mistral. And what else have we got? Yeah, these are all, yeah, and that's something else. I'm not sure what that one is, but it's in nice condition. That's a more 50s thing. But I sort of grabbed that. So that lot, headlight bowls, these cross over with Mistrals and so on. Silly little hubcap, Alfa Romeo, that's F12 for the little commercial vehicles. It's the later 70s ones had the plastic hubcaps, but you know, I thought that's a bit of fun. Just hang it on the wall. Rear number plate light, rear number plate plinth. That's Alfa 105 coupe. You know, they have that sort of concave rear panel, don't they? But that's the sort of, I quite like that, so I bought that just to hang on the wall. Fiat Dino coupe. It's worth having a spare one of these because I've had to replace one not that long ago. I dare say you know, that's the wrong length. I'll have to rewire, you know, recable it, but at least it is the right thing. But recently I had one of these spools that broke on someone's car, so I thought it's worth having another one of them. Clearly it fits Alfa Romeo stuff. Couple of brake pots, I mean that's new old stock, that's quite nice condition. Not really, you know, early Maserati have this sort of stuff. That one's not so good, but I thought at least it's a pattern for the cap and, you know, got the I'll clean up if need be. That lot. Vispa regulator, that goes on the Dinos, 2 litres. I'd have that. Nice little Corello box, new old stock indicators. I think these are Alfa Romeo 2300 and things like that, but and some of the 1900 stuff. But you know, they weren't expensive, and I bought them just because they're in the box, new old stock. I don't even know what I'll do with them. These sort of 50s gauges could come in handy for a 50s special build I've got in mind, but we'll see about that one day. Bosch regulator box. That's the thing that we needed on the Mealy when we're having all that trouble. Don't really need it. You know, it goes on the Alfa 1900. Don't really need it, but again, for this sort of idea of a 50 special, could be useful for parts and looking at. A Morelli regulator box, some regulators, an old fuse box. Again, for this sort of idea of this 50 special I want to build one day. These number plate lights, I mean, they're all odd, but I've got loads of these, and these are quite useful, you know, for the number plate on the Arbath build. Corello again, they're nice pieces, so I thought I'd grab them. Weren't expensive. These are sort of wiring trunking things, very much Alfa Romeo, but you get them on the Mazdas as well, so I thought that's worth having them. They weren't, I say none of this was expensive. These are all new old stock brake clips for the ATE brakes. Don't really have them on anything particularly, but some of the Italian stuff does it, and some of the BMWs, I thought I'd grab them, so we got them. Radio banking plug, well, just because it was there, really. So, Alfa banking plug. This is my Shell fog light, very nice, but it's missing its reflector, which was a shame. But that's Ferrari 250, and even on some of the Mustangs, 350 GT has that. But it's a nice piece, but unfortunately I didn't realise it's missing its reflector. A couple of these, they're odd. That one might fit the Mistrals. That one's sort of Lancia Fulvia and some of the Alphas, but it had these on them, these ends, which sometimes, you know, I might need them. So I thought just grab them for that, if nothing else. And then that, again, that fits Maseratis. That's A6G, and I think A6 GCS, but I thought I'd grab that because it's nice. And again, it wasn't expensive. And a gearbox. So that's Dino 2 litre. And some prop shafts. And a servo. Again, Maserati. This lot. Steering box, column, a load of prop shafts and things like that. Really, again, for this idea of the 50 special I want to build, you know, this could come in handy. You know, anyway, it could come in handy for it, couldn't it? So I thought, you know, it was cheap, so I thought I'd grab it. This is interesting because you've got this mounted bearing on here. And again, that's used on the Maserati A6G and things like that. So I thought we'll grab that lot, then at least I've got that bearing. Unfortunately, I haven't got the bit that goes in the end there, the spline bit, but we'll work that out. But a lot of this is sort of Alfa 1900 and Giulietta and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And again, I quite like these see how these UJs, how they clip in here, how they lock, they locate like that. This is what they had on the Alfa 1900. So I think they're quite nice period pieces from the 50s. So I think that, you know, this could all be useful. It's all bits of junk, but, you know, between it, I can probably make up a prop shaft that will emulate what I want to do on this thing that I might do one day, build a special. But if I'm ever going to do that, you'll have to leave me alone to get on with it. So I'm going to now get on with something. So I'll say good night or goodbye. And don't forget to hype, like, subscribe, and please comment, because it's quite funny to see what you have to say about my silly behaviour. So there we are.